Get it to the right diameter again. And this time I am marking the other two 90 degrees on that curve, and the two 90 degrees. On that curve. I'll zoom into that a bit. Just take that pencil out because I don't want the ink to dry up. Put the lid back on, put it away, put the other one away. So that's the basic geometry is this. We've got a hole coming through this way. This is defined by the orange. So what I'm going to do, in fact, is I'm going to make a hole down to this junction this way at whatever diameter that is. You think it's 27 millimeters, and it's about 5 millimeters deep. And then also that hole is 17 millimeters, and that can go right through, so that it's from the centre. And you do this from both sides, obviously, of the piece of wood. So you'll end up with a hole, a trumpet top going into there to a 17 millimeter hole. Is that 17? Yeah, 17 and a half in fact. Going into a hole and then coming back out in another, so you've got a trumpet inside of a trumpet cone on either side at one height. And then on a longer piece of wood, the other colour on this diagram, which is the blue, you've got the same thing but at not offset at 90 degrees, and in between, at the top and in between of those two things, if the offset's right, and the offset is twice this 17 millimeter diameter, no, 17 millimeters plus the thickness of the Pringle shape you want to create. So if I want a 10 millimeter Pringle shape, I offset by 27 millimeters, so I have a hole and then a center offset by 27 millimeters and another hole. And the other thing about this is it keeps these corners intact, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill 4 millimeter holes at the centres of these bits of corners that are outside of the circumference of the circle, so that I can bolt two pieces of wood together, say, because if you want to do this in the end of a piece of wood, you ain't doing it, are you? You know, it's not happening. But if you bolt two pieces of wood together with a piece of all thread, 4 millimeter threaded rod going through each corner all the way through these pieces of wood, you can cut these holes through without fear of hitting metal. The final step, sorry, the whole circle, this one that changes from orange to blue, there is also, when you round this all off, when you turn this into a cylinder, remember the holes are coming through this way and that way, but when you turn this to a cylinder, where that's what was important and why these had to step out, is where those meet, it means the curve is going to match from one to the other. And that was a difficult bit in getting this geometry right, though it turns out to be fairly simple. getting it in your head in the first place is the difficult part. So that's the plan. I will do some of these so I can create a box, a small, say a ring box with that Pringle shape on the top, and then a lid which is the shape of a whole Pringle, which can just, it doesn't need anything else, it just will stack onto there naturally because of that double curve, you know, being concave and convex in whichever direction you're going. So convex that way and concave that way, or from the other side the opposite. So yeah, I could have a small box with a Pringle shaped top, a Pringle that goes on top, or another box that goes on top, or a little base, so I could have Pringle shaped top and bottom, and you can just create little stackable boxes with Pringle shaped lids, and that's what I'll be making. Thanks for watching.